Look like these niggas just got out of pool, man.
Hell nah, nigga just got out an intense ass workout.
Yeah, man, the run today was a little bit tougher than usual, man.
Definitely.
Genuinely.
Cause the heat.
The heat, man. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Like he said though, you gotta outlast the fire.
Yeah, man.
'Cause
What's
I was gonna say, I ain't gonna lie, like, after mile 4, bro, I was feeling that shit.
yeah.
I was like, damn, that shit just turned straight mental.
What pace were you going?
I finished 9:27.
9:27.
Yeah, 10.2 miles.
Hey, man. That's that work, man. Put down in the comments, roll call if you've been putting in that work this week, man. It's Saturday. Y'all know what time it is. Daily deposit, weekly deposit, you know. Welcome back to another episode of the Pure Intentions Podcast, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and sticking with us, coming back, hanging out, and listening to this great information, you know what I'm saying?
No rap.
But yeah, man, it's a chill day. Ain't been raining too much this week, has it?
Nah, it's supposed to rain all next week though, I checked.
Ah, man.
Starting tomorrow.
Looks like summer is actually spring. But, hey, man. Let's get into it, man. What we getting into today for the people, man?
Man, today we getting into something that was on my mind all week. Really like a week and a half, but like this week. And it's basically your dreams are on the other side of your fears.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I look at it as like a line, and then it's like a mental blockage in the middle. And that mental blockage are your fears, you know, and on the other side of that
So,
are your dreams.
like, why do people be dreaming that stuff if they fear it? Like, if they actually fear the thing that they so-called dream about, like, why do they even dream it in the first place? That kind of doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know, maybe God planted that dream into them, you know what I'm saying? And he wants you to learn yourself throughout the process of achieving that dream. And in order to learn yourself, you gotta, you know, go through trials and tribulations, face your fears and whatnot. Maybe that's just my perspective on it, though.
Yeah. Nah, it's actually crazy how many things that fear is keeping you back from. And, you know, people talk about great things that they want to do or that they want to get done all the time. But how many of those people do you actually hear fulfilling and following through on that stuff? Not too many. And that's because you either have to act in spite of fear, or you just have to make it so easy that, like, fear isn't even a thing for you in that specific occurrence or activity. But, like, so many people will allow fear to keep them in that box and keep them behind a wall. And people think it's a concrete wall when it's really a wall made of, like, straw. Like, you know, like the Three Little Pigs, like one had like a straw house and the other one had like something else, and then the guy had a brick house. This ain't no brick house, bro, honestly. Like, fear, I feel like the perception changes for people. So you have one person that will see it and perceive that fear as a straw house, while another person will see it as a brick house. But in both situations, in order for that person to get on the other side of that wall, they have to go through it regardless. So whether you perceive it as something that it's not or something that it is, you got to go through it regardless. And it's a skill, you know?
Yeah. But I got a quote on my wall that says, fear is a signal, not a barrier. So, like, when you feel fear, it's like your body it sends signals to your brain, you know what I'm saying? It makes your palms sweating. It may make your heart rate, will make your heart rate speed up. Maybe you're becoming more aware of the way you swallow. Your body is sending signals to your brain that, like, hey, I'm feeling fearful right now. Like, I'm in flight mode, you know, or I'm in fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
But just because you feel that doesn't mean it's a barrier, though. It's just a signal. become aware of the signal, and then act on it.
I think that's a cool way to look at it, as a signal, you know, because usually like a signal is like pulling you towards it. It's like a signal is pointing your direction. So like, you know, let's there's a separation between things that you should actually fear and stay away from, and things that you should not fear and, you know, go through with. But like, I just think changing your perception around it is going to be the biggest thing, because like it's going to be there regardless. And for me, like fear, some people link fear and anxiety and stuff like that. I would say that it's a close link, but once, like, some mechanisms that I use to overcome anxiety or nervousness, I use to overcome fear. And those really help a lot for me. I don't know where I was going with that. But
Yeah, that actually just reminded me of some shit. So I remember when I was in college, I started working on a book I was writing, but I ain't gonna lie, I haven't really made progress on it. But basically, it was called, like, I can't remember what the number was, but I think it was like the 6 pillars of fear. And I don't really want to get in too much into it because I don't want y'all to steal my idea. But it was kind of talking about how every single negative emotion stems from fear. So like fear is at the top, then anxiety is linked to it, anger is linked to fear, and it was like self-doubt is linked to fear, and it was like a whole bunch of other emotions and shit. So I was like the 7 pillars of fear or some shit. So I mean, fear is a very it's a natural thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? And while we were speaking about like the bodies and the signals, the main reason fear stops people is because too many people are living inside of their body. You know what I'm saying? Like how we say it's the mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
But like they living too much in their body. They not aligned. The 3 pillars, their mind, their body, and their spirit, their soul, isn't aligned. They primarily just living in their body. So when their body sends out signals that, hey, I'm feeling fearful, they don't know how to continue to push forward despite feeling those signals.
So, how can somebody push forward despite feeling them signals?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think it's a muscle. So courage, they say courage is acting in the face of fear. That's like the definition of courage. And I think it's a muscle. It's just something that comes with repetition. So whenever you get into those moments where you feel fearful, you just gonna have to like practice, honestly, until you keep building it. Just like how, like I say, discipline and everything else is a muscle. I think courage is a muscle as well.
So, one example I think of is with running. Like, you get to a point, for example, today, got to like mile 5 maybe. And, you know, I was like, I'm going to just do 6. And if this nigga asks me, I'm going to say that's all I got in me today. You know what I'm saying? And a part of that was fear that I cannot keep going. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like every time I push past that, which I like to call it pushing past the wall, it trains that muscle for me. So like I can go into a different situation and know like I'm gonna go back to running. If I'm feeling itching on my leg, or if I'm feeling a stick in my foot, or if I'm feeling tightness in my knee or something, I know that that will subside, and that's a temporary part of the process, and that I don't need to allow the fear in that situation to overtake me, because it's just temporary. It's not one of those fears that you should really have and adhere to. A fear that you should have and adhere to is of polar bears. You should never walk up to polar bears in the wild or in captivity. And that's fucking common sense, you know?
Yeah.
But like I encounter that every time I run, and I would say sometimes when I'm working out, and even sometimes with client work, like sometimes I'll have to, usually my deep work sessions are like 4 hours. Sometimes I gotta lock in for 8-10 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? Overnight, 12 hours, just so I can get something done. And it's like a wall that I hit during that time that I have to be like, okay, am I gonna stop at this time where I'm thinking about stopping, or am I gonna finish the job? Am I gonna finish the job? You know?
I train my mind just like a muscle.
Oh God,
That's real rap, literally.
literally, bro.
No, but that is that's why I once again I recommend exercising to so many people, because it's way more than just a physical practice, bro. It's definitely a mental practice, and I definitely feel fear probably before every time I run. I don't know why. Like I probably done ran hundreds, thousands of times in my lifetime. Like today, I ain't gonna lie, I had some fear going into the run today. I always have fear going into like 10-mile plus runs or 10-mile runs.
Wow.
Even though I keep proving it to myself that like I can do it, but for me, bro, like I've spoken this a couple episodes back. Fear is one of my biggest motivational factors. Like I kind of changed my perspective when it comes to fear to like I said, it's a signal. So I feel the fear, and it's like that's what drives me to just try to be a better person. Honestly, like I got a fear of failure. I have a fear of not completing the 10-mile run. I have a fear of not motherfucking finishing my reps in the gym or some shit. Like that's that shit that really pushes me. So like you said, change your relationship with fear. Definitely. Like fear is your friend, not your enemy. And the thing is, the reason why humans were able to evolve and become the apex predators is because of fear. It was like we had fear of polar bears or some shit, like right, or whatever the fuck other predators it may have been.
Saber tooth.
Yeah, saber-toothed tigers, my nigga. So that shit is literally what kept us alert, and that's what made us survive, and thousands of years later still be on the top of the food chain. It's that fear, but you just have to learn when to use it in that way and when to not use it in that way.
Yeah. Fear as a motivator. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really use. Okay, let me say this. The way that I think right now, and I haven't really thought about it, I don't really use fear as a motivator, but I do realize its presence in things in which I have to get done. But I don't know, man. Me personally, like worry and fear kind of dissipated at the same time for me. Like when I stopped worrying about stuff, I stopped being so fearful about stuff. Like it doesn't arise in so many situations or experiences as it did before. Like as a kid, kind of, you don't have as much exposure and stuff, so you don't know what to fear, so you kind of, default to what society does. And if something is different, then you just say, I'm scared of that, you know? But I think that's a great way to look at it, as fear as a motivator.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like, especially if you can't, I don't want to use the word can't, but if it's hard for you to look at it in any other way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we all different, so we all gonna have different techniques or different ways that we gonna perceive it or some shit.
Exactly.
So, yeah, definitely as a motivator. That's some shit I became aware of probably like last year or some shit. And like, I used to be fighting myself like, damn, like why am I feeling self-doubt? Woot, 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 until I watched this video and it said self-doubt is your friend. Like, that's the nigga Curry experiences self-doubt, and he's the greatest shooter of all time. But that's what makes him the greatest shooter of all time. He don't feel like he's scared he gonna get in the game and he gonna be missing threes, or he's in the gym overly locked in.
Yeah.
So when the game comes, he's overly prepared, you know? And that's another thing too, I just thought about. So I also got a quote on my wall, and it's from Michael Jordan, and it says, "Preparation eliminates fear." So a lot of times when we feel fear, it's because we may not have, or may not think that we prepared for it properly. But when you know that you put the work in beforehand, it's really kind of be hard for you to fear whatever is coming up. So like, if you in the process of achieving your dreams, but you know, like let's say your dream is to like close on a 7-figure deal, and that deal is tomorrow. But if you know that you prepared for that deal overly, you're gonna have more confidence within yourself by the time the deal comes. So that's what I say. Well, that's how Michael Jordan says, work ethic eliminates fear. In his instance, like a lot of old heads and shit believe he's the greatest player of all time. Well, he was putting that work in, you know what I'm saying? And that's why he was so confident in himself. And confidence is really a superpower, for real.
Yeah, bro. That fear can get distinguished. What is it? Extinguished. There you go. Extinguished by confidence. Like, I'm gonna go back to anxiety. If you, let's say the night before, let's say you have an event coming up the next day, and the night before, you're making sure everything is all together, your presentation, what you're gonna say, how you're gonna dress, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you get to the day of the event, and you might feel a little bit of fear and anxiety depending on where you're at. But one thing that you can do to help in that situation is just self-talk. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Talking yourself out of it. If you feel yourself about to get into like a fear loop, which that's basically in your mind when you get into a pessimistic mind state, like, oh, this is gonna go wrong, that's gonna go wrong, I can't do that. That's what, you know what I'm saying? You have to take back control of your self-talk and basically tell yourself otherwise. So if you driving up to the event and you feeling a little nervous, tell yourself that you're excited. Simple as that. Tell yourself that you're happy to be there. You're interested in seeing everybody's face that's there. And you will feel less imminent fear about what's coming, you know? And that's something that has really, really helped me.
Yeah.
You know?
Bro, and then a lot of times, bro, the things that we fear, we amplify it in our minds. So when the moment actually comes, it's most of the time it's not near as bad as we imagine it in our head. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy thing about it. Like, for instance, the real motivation behind this episode was because on Monday I had sent like a little risky, bold text, and I ain't gonna lie, bro, like while I was typing it up, bro, like I started noticing my hands started like feeling a little sweaty, like my heart was beating faster. I started becoming more aware of the way I was swallowing and shit. I'm like, damn, like what the fuck? But like that's the thing, I'm talking about awareness, you know what I'm saying? And like I'm coming on here preaching this to you, like no matter what level in life you in, you always gonna feel fear. Like it may not be this amount of fear, but you're gonna feel some type of fear, you know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be there.
Yeah. Like especially your body. Like I don't really I associate myself with my body, but I know I'm not just my body. Like my body has its own, well, all of our bodies have their own like operating system, like their own consciousness basically. Like we're like the top tier of the consciousness when it comes to like ourself, but our body has its own operating system, and that's how it breathes without us manually breathing. Like while we sleep, it's still breathing and shit like that. So our digestive system is working, and we not really doing that. It's our body doing that shit. So your body also is the thing that sends out those signals. So like when I was sending the texts and shit, like, and I was feeling that shit, that's what I just had realized. I was just becoming aware, like, damn, like my body is tripping right now. But like I couldn't let that stop me though. You know what I'm saying? And then like I said, bro, once I, I threw my phone and shit, turned that bitch off, and then, like, I ain't gonna lie, the text came back in my favor. And then afterwards, I was just sitting there thinking, like, damn, bro, my body was really going through all this, and, like,
For no fucking reason.
yeah, for no reason.
But it wasn't like your body was just responding to its not baseline, but like where it gets to when you get in that situation. Like somebody else might have been in that situation more times and they won't have none of that shit because they've just experienced it so fucking much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But another thing that has helped me when it comes to fear and initiating things and not allowing the fear that I have of something to prevent me from pursuing it is that I truly believe that everything will work out in my favor. Every single thing. Right now, today, it may not look that way, but in the long run, things will work out in my favor. So I can see me having fear, hey, I'm not going to be able to hit these metrics for this investor, but I'm still going to go through it because I know for a fact, like, I'm not going to just go in this situation and just fumble and flop. Like, I'm just not going to do that. So I'm going to, push through that fear and know that things are going to work out. And I know that's, like, hard to say, no, things are going to work out when, let's say, your previous attempts at something, maybe they never worked out. They never even had an ounce of working out. But, choose wisely in what you choose to pursue doing. And, I would say just don't start anything you plan on stopping. I feel like the law that I just stated, thinking that things are going to work out, helps in the long run. So it's something that you choose to do and you're not going to choose to stop doing it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
And that just had me thinking, I can't remember the second part of the quote, but it's like a quote that's like, you either going to have the fear of regret or the fear of something else.
Fear of regret?
Or maybe I'm saying it wrong, but if I am, then I'm about to fill in the blank then myself. So, let me think. You're either going to have the fear of regret or you're going to have the fear of pushing yourself to new limits, maybe? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know, but basically what I'm saying though, bro, like, this is something, I ain't gonna lie, I learned 2 powerful lessons in the past week and a half, 2 weeks. So one was just about like my body when it comes to fear, and the other one, which we may do a whole nother episode on it, is just like, what if? Like, I really had to come to the conclusion 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I cannot live my life based off what ifs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta go find the answer, because like, my dad always says the word if is the biggest 2-letter word in the dictionary. If I would have did this, if I would have acted on this in a moment, but you didn't, you know what I'm saying? Or if you have the opportunity to, then do it. So I had to come to the conclusion that, like, I just can't base my life off of what ifs. Like he said, I believe as well that everything is gonna work out in my favor. So if I believe that, I'm gonna have to be courageous and go find the answer to this situation. Whether it turns out in my desire or not, it's gonna be the best for me. And I have that clarity at the end of the day, which is also the most important thing of, like, I got my answer now. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom. So, yeah, you just can't really live your life based off what ifs. I feel like a lot of people do, especially when they get older. And they're like, dang, like, what if I would have did this in my 20s? I would be in a better position now. Or, damn, what if I would have dropped my nuts and went to go speak to that girl? Maybe would have had a family by now. I can't live my life based off what ifs, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even if the girl reject you, bro, she rejected you
But
in your best favor.
Yeah, you put your effort in,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
and you got clarity, bro. So you're not sitting here like, oh man, like damn.
I wonder if she fucks with me.
Yeah, exactly. That shit is what really eats you up the most. I feel like, at least for me, like that shit is what eat me up the most. Like just wondering if this person may feel the same type of way about you with some shit, and you just constantly have these recurring thoughts about that shit. Like you can't do that, bro. Just like drop your nuts and go find the answer. And whatever the answer is, it's gonna be the best interest for you. Like that's God's plan. Then you have that clarity, you know, because it's no more lingering, draining thoughts, reoccurring thoughts about, damn, I hope she fuck with me or some shit like that.
Yeah, man. It takes courage to reveal or pursue curiosity. So, all of those what ifs that you're thinking about, what if that, if this, you have to have courage to even say that you're going to take that what if and turn it into a what had happened. Oh, God.
Nah, facts. So,
What had happened was,
yeah.
and you'll notice that if you can't get rid of fear in one area of your life, usually it's gonna spill over to other areas of your life, and that's bad for business. If you're going into every situation like, you could use it as a motivator. Me personally, in my worldview and perspective, I don't see the benefit of going into every situation fearful first. Like fear will be there, but I don't think it should be like the main thing you're focusing on. That's just my opinion though. Like focus on the prize, what you got to get done. Like all this stuff you feeling. Like for example, bro, you could be running and you could feel the sharpest pain in your foot, bro. You feel like your foot finna fall off. That's you exaggerating the pain in your mind. And it's leading to the fear of like, oh, my body's going to shut down or it's going to break. When really all you got to do is last out for, 5, 10, maybe 20 more minutes. And you will be able to feel a subsided feeling. And that's fucking insane to think about. Because the whole reason why we're doing this video, or one of the main demographics that this video is helping, is the people that literally stop before the wall. They never get to the other side. They always stop before the wall. If they start running, if they say, I'm going to start running, I'm going to start by doing 2 times a week, and they go out for their first run, and they feel something crazy in their calf. They're like, bro, I need to go to the doctor. You feel like this thing is about to take you out, and now it's preventing you from starting this new great habit that you could have had. All because of fear.
Yeah. Bro, I just had an epiphany, bro.
Ooh, epiphany.
So, like how last week, Tom Brady said, I spoke about Tom Brady said a person's level of success is determined by their level of discipline. But I think it's also determined by their level of courage. Because I feel like the further you go in life kind of depends on how much courage you have to achieve your goals. Like you just spoke about that wall. So fear is a imaginary barrier. But a lot of people, they settle right before the fear, or they settle as soon as they get to the fear. The people who really are living their life and not surviving through life, they are the people who continue to go forward and push past that fear. I think those are the most successful people on this planet. And when I say successful, I'm not speaking about successful as like materialistic shit, but just like mostly like mentally and spiritually and physically as well, but definitely mentally and spiritually. Those are the people that push past that barrier.
Yeah, you know, I was in Bali and I was about to take this hike down to this secret beach, right? And honestly, I didn't know that it was, you know, as high up as it was. And I had on sandals, I had on shorts, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna go walk in this forest that's on the side of a mountain and walk all the way down to this beach. And it's like 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So at the top, I was looking at the beautiful view. And the beautiful view is very tempting. It's saying, you can be down here. You know what I'm saying? But there's this, 15, 20 minutes of forest I got to go through. And I got on sandals. And there's, a certain type of mosquito in Bali and things of that nature. And so when I was right there, I was thinking about the bees. I was thinking about the mosquitoes. I was thinking about some random animal can run up on me and I don't got no weapon or nothing. And I got sandals on. How I'm going to get out of here? You know what I'm saying? And if I had allowed that fear to stop me right there, I would have never got down to that beach and had the absolute most peaceful 2-3 hours that I had while I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a glimpse of what was coming to me because I was up at the top looking at the view. I'm like, man, that would have looked clear, man. I ain't never seen that before. And it would have stopped me from an experience if I let that fear overtake me. So you can kind of see how, like take it for a second an account of different situations that you were walking on the path and then you turned around because the fear got too heavy for you. Like, think about the last time that happened and contemplate with yourself how you can handle that better or what you would do next time with this new information that we giving you in this video. Like, it really stops people from living, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just what this man said. Like, people literally, and some people will walk around and you'll think that they're being intelligent by, staying inside of this box. But really it's just them being fearful about different things that they're not used to or a new skill that they have to learn or whatever. Like, they will just stay in that same life and, never go out. Never exit their comfort zone. Because I'm fearful of what, a longer distance is going to do for me.
Bro, what you just said was powerful, bro. It just had me thinking about two things. So the first thing, your story actually gave me another answer for the first question you asked me in the beginning of this video, which was speaking about, like, how can people push past fear and still get to their dreams. So when you was talking about the story, you had the vision of the bottom of the beach because you seen it. So that was your motivational factor. So when it comes to other people, create a clear vision of your goals and where you really want to be at. And a vision board, for example. And just look at that shit every single day. So, like, no matter what may pop up, even if it's not fear, even if it's just like a quote-unquote obstacle or some shit, a little bump in the road, you still have that motivational factor, which is the vision. You know what I'm saying? The vision is maybe the strongest thing, to be honest. So that's definitely how people can push past fear and still get to their goals, man. Just create a clear vision of what you want. The human willpower is one of the strongest things in the universe. It's the reason that y'all watching this video right here. Somebody willed a camera into existence because they wanted it that bad. This mic, they wanted it that bad. They had bumps in the road, all types of shit. And the second thing, yeah, so the second thing, bro, you were speaking about being comfortable and stuff. I remember graduating college, I told myself, I was like, and this is just for me personally, like, for nobody else, but I told myself that, like, If I was to ever go get my master's, I'm doing that because I'm scared and I'm just being comfortable. And like that's just the plain truth. Because it's easy. I wouldn't say it's easy for me to go get my master's, but it's probably the most comfortable thing I could do, especially still at the age I'm at right now, like 23. I'm a year out of college. Like, yeah, I could go do that, make a little bit more money, find maybe better quality jobs, whatever. But that's not the vision I have for my life. That's not my end goal. That's not what I want to do with my life. So, yeah, man. So, like I said, I appreciate you sharing that shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
Shit's powerful.
It's that's some that's an interesting that's an interesting one. Like, something will be easy for you. So, you know, you do the thing that will align with your vision more than the thing that will be easiest for you.
Yeah. Like, my sister told me the other week, she was a lot of people go back to school to get a master's and stuff because they're scared of growing up. They're scared of being an adult. So they trying to delay the process a little bit longer, which I wouldn't necessarily blame because once you in adulthood, you in that shit for life. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, like, prepare as long as you want to, but don't do that because of fear. That's just my personal opinion. Like, you got to grow up one day. You know, you should kind of want to have some type of responsibility, especially if you're a man. But I digress, bro.
No cap, man. But some people are gonna learn in situations that arise. Like, it's great to get it younger for sure, but some people, maybe their fear doesn't really affect them in the same way until they're about 30, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70. I know, man, I've known people that are well into their senior years that are the most fearful people that I know. Literally, bro. So it's like, and you see it. You see, like, they haven't really done much. They haven't tried much. When they talk about when they did try something, it's usually something small that stops them. Like, people are truly unhappy in that. Like, if you're living in a fear state, it's not okay. Would you say fear is a low vibrational state?
Yeah. Like, if that's what you dwelling on, like,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So if you're living in a low vibrational state, which is fear all the time, like, you can't expect to have a happy or fulfilling life, which I don't think you should strive for a happy life. A fulfilling life is what I think you should strive for, but you're not going to have that if you're constantly allowing fear to get in front of you. So, like, there may be something on your mind right now that you've been procrastinating on, but it keeps popping up like, dang, I got to do this. And, another thing that has helped me, bro, is just simply accepting the greatest extreme. Like, let's say you were supposed to call your boss. What is the worst case scenario that can happen when you call your boss? You get fired. Okay? That's the worst case scenario. So if you say beforehand, I'm okay with getting fired because I live in abundance, I can get another job. This isn't a throwaway job, but I cannot control this person's actions if that's what they want to do. Let me go ahead and call my boss. I'm going to stop procrastinating. That's how that would go. You would say, man, I'm okay with losing. I'm okay with losing it all. I'm okay with this not turning out the way that I saw it to turn out. And you'll have a much easier time getting by, fear and stuff. Like, sometimes the way that you had it planned, it's just simply not gonna go that way, bro.
Yeah.
You can't let that stop you though.
Bro, John Jones, the greatest UFC fighter ever, he actually said in an interview, he said before his fights, he comes to term with the worst possible outcome, which is he could get knocked out or submitted or some shit. But he said when he comes to terms with that, it brings like a sense of peace because he's like, okay, like this is the worst possible outcome. Like now let's prepare, you know? Let's prepare for the outcome to not happen or some shit.
Yeah.
So that is powerful. But I kind of do want to spin back. You was talking about, like, you said the most oldest people that you know are the most fearful people.
Yeah.
And I believe that's because of experience. They experience more life, right? And when it comes to the older generation, like I said, the older generation, they're older than younger people, so they have more experience. So they could have seen somebody try to take this route and that shit not pan out for them. But at the same time, like, they didn't see the other side of the coin as well. So, you know, it's a risk when, you know, you really an ambitious person and you striving for your goals. Like, for one, you have to come to terms though that like failure, it does not exist. It's just a lesson. Even if you never reach your goals, like, it's really just about the person that you become in the process anyway. So, yeah, but so the older generation, they could see this person do this and they lose it all. And they looking from the outside point in like, damn, like I seen Lil Johnny lose it all 30 years ago trying to be a entrepreneur. So now they telling their kids like, nah, bro, you gotta go to school and play that shit safe.
Yeah.
But they didn't see the other side of the coin where Big Johnny goddamn took that risk. And now that nigga a 7-figure man, you know?
Yeah.
So that's not always gonna be like the only outcome. And you know, shit is destiny. Like, it may sound cruel, but maybe this person's fate wasn't to be a 7-figure man. Maybe it was more so just about the process for him, the person that he became, or the inspiration that he could have gave to other people that was around him.
Okay, man. Okay.
So I feel like that's a big thing that happens a lot, honestly.
Other people experiences preventing us from going on our own.
Yeah, even though that isn't the only outcome that could come from this activity or whatever you're doing. Like that's not the only possible outcome. That's just the outcome that you seen, that this person may have seen. So that's why it's kind of good to be naive in a sense, you know, to take risks when you're younger, because you don't really have that fear. And I actually heard Wemby say that shit. Them niggas getting smacked right now. They're 2-0 in the finals. But I heard Wemby, he was talking about experience. He was like, you know, it's probably a good thing that we don't have experience because we don't know what pressure feels like. So he was like, they're able to play more freely because they naive and shit. You know what I'm saying? So to an extent, it's kind of good to be naive, I feel like, so you don't overthink yourself out of taking a risk to get to your dreams.
Yeah. It's a time and place for everything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, you know, times where this will work out better than that, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, man, let us know what y'all think about this episode. Did this spark any new ideas in your mind? Did this help you grow in any way? Put it down in the comments. And join the Pure Intentions community. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so hit the subscribe button and also leave a like, you know. And share this video with somebody that, you know can use it, because maybe they're showing a little bit of fear, and maybe you're an older person and your nephew or your niece or your son or daughter or granddaughter or whatever, they're experiencing a little bit of fear right now. Send them this video and see what they think about it. See if it helps their situation at all. Yeah, man. What you gotta say, man?
This is just another weekly deposit. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be bike at it next week with another weekly deposit.
Okay.
Another great episode. And in the meantime, make sure y'all put in them daily deposits. So by the time the week ends, y'all have a great week. And then the week's gonna stack into 4 great weeks. And then 4 great weeks gonna stack into a great month. And you just keep stacking them bitches. So it's really about the daily deposits that you put in. But in the meantime, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next weekly deposit.
Oh God, man. Pure Intentions Podcast. We out.
If you enjoyed this video, then check out our full podcast playlist and stay up to date and notified when you join the Pure Intentions Discord community. See you in the next one.